I bet you know what coordinates are. The XY coordinates are the most common, as they intuitively describe position in 2 dimensions. But what if I told you there was another coordinate system, which is sometimes better than this one? The XY coordinates are called the Cartesian coordinates. The other system is called polar coordinates. They're named that because the graph has a kind of pole at the center. And just like the Cartesian coordinates, you need 2 numbers to describe a point. But instead of them being 2 distances, how left or right and up or down, we instead use an angle and a distance. Our distance is measured from the center, while the angle is measured from the positive x-axis. Oftentimes, in polar coordinates, we use radians instead of degrees. When we write a coordinate, we write it like this, where or is the distance and theta is the angle. We can actually convert from Cartesian to polar. Let's say we have a point like 2 minus 4. First, we need its distance from the origin to get or, and for that we can use the Pythagorean theorem to get it to be the square root of 20. Now, all we need is the angle. To get that, we can get the inverse tangent of the y value over the x value, which would be the inverse tangent of minus 2, which is roughly minus 1.1 radians, meaning in polar form, our point is root 20 arctan minus 2. Now, this might seem useless, but it's actually quite handy when graphing certain functions, like cosine, because they represent circular symmetry and rotation better. In Cartesian coordinates, it looks like this, but in polar coordinates, it's much simpler. It just becomes a circle. And if we look at tan, it's much nicer now. Or even some random functions like 4 sine of 2x minus cosine of x plus a half cot x, which now looks much more simple. Now, this extends into 3D. Instead of having 3 lengths, x, y, and z, to describe points, we can use cylindrical coordinates to describe position with 2 lengths, rho, the radius, and z, the height, along with the angle phi, or spherical coordinates, which have 1 length, or the radius, and 2 angles, theta and phi, to describe points in 3D. Well, that's it for polar coordinates. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I hope you learned something new, and have a nice day.